It's something we've mentioned all the way back in the wake of the Obergefell decision in the United States, and then in the early year of the pandemic, early in 2020, there was a surrogacy, a commercial surrogacy law that was promoted in Seattle and in New York, both of which were led at the time by gay lawmakers, basically using this kind of same language that this service needed to be available. And the move from surrogacy being legal, but commercial surrogacy not being legal, in other words, that you could actually pay someone, to legalizing it is itself was an early step of those who were doing it in the name of so-called LGBT rights. Because at this point, then, because of that financial exchange, it adds this further separation between the mom. And the mom then becomes further separated because, okay, you're getting paid for this. And then once that financial exchange is over and I get what I ordered, then it actually does really belong to me. And there's a sense of ownership that presumes in the bill. And that's why this was being pushed this way. And it was being pushed, though, in language like universal parentage or presumed parentage, which I noted at the time was really striking because here, first of all, you had a couple that had chosen an inherently infertile relationship. And I don't mean that in any cruel way. And it's just,
it's a math problem.
Well, yeah, in the sense that nature is cruel. I mean, all the pieces can be working, and that relationship is sterile. Right? If a heterosexual couple is sterile, something's not working. And that's where we, I've long said that phrase, which has driven this movement forward, love is love, love is love, love is love, is demonstrably not true, unless you pretend that none of these other factors matter, right? That the only thing that makes love love is how sincere the affection is. But what we were saying is there's more to love than just sincerity of affection. There's actually a body that's involved or bodies that are involved, and, whether these bodies are working or not working. So to say that a couple that has chosen an inherently sterile relationship now demands children, that's a shift. It's also a shift in legal speak and cultural speak because of Windsor and Obergefell. These decisions that gave us so-called same-sex marriage were really argued that, look, this has nothing to do with children. Love and the institution of marriage, the government recognizing a marriage doesn't have anything to do with children. It has to do with the government not discriminating, the government recognizing legitimacy of this affection and this union and so on. And it was really argued separating marriage from children and or the potential for children. And now that marriage has been achieved institutionally and culturally, now there's a bait and switch. Where, okay, we now demand, children. And so there had been rumblings for a while, but man, it was almost like a light switch went on in the last 2 months where dozens of articles showed up everywhere. And, I know, all these news agencies are completely independent and never talk, and they're, completely insusceptible to any sort of agenda.
Are you a conspiracy theorist, John?
If you're not a little bit of one, you're not paying attention. So it was interesting just to see all of this, and it was done in the name of rights. So again, follow the math. We have to go from surrogacy, which I think is ethically problematic as it is, and you and I have written about that a lot, but that shift to commercial surrogacy is a hallmark of who's driving this because it adds that further separation between the biological parent and the so-called true parents, right? It's in a consumer way. And now this shift to it's unjust that we have to pay this much. And it costs more for a gay couple to have a baby than it does for a heterosexual couple to have a baby. I saw this and I thought, yeah, and birds can fly and we can't. I mean, is that unjust? I need a plane. It costs me more to fly. Birds don't have to pay to fly, and I have to pay to fly. That's kind of what we're talking about. And then there is a drive for insurance companies then to cover this as part of quote-unquote reproductive freedom and reproductive rights and that sort of thing. And those articles were piling up. And then you had the Italy piece, which was just so interesting, as if the real move here had been after, millennia of human existence, the Italians are now cracking down on, gay couples having babies.